This week's Parsha is Chayei Sarah, which ironically speaks not of the life of Sarah, but of the death of Sarah. The Torah tells us, Vayu Chayei Sarah, the life of Sarah is Mea Shana, 100 years, Vesrim Shana, and 20 years, Vesheva Shanim, and 7 years. This is the life of Sarah. Obviously, there's something to be asked over here. Why didn't the Torah just say 127 years? Why did it have to say 100 years, and 20 years, and 7 years? Rashi, quoting the very famous Medrash, says, the reason is because we look at these years each as a separate unit. There was a unit of 100 years, a unit of 20 years, a unit of 7 years. And that, when she was 100, she was like 20 as far as sin. That is, until one is 20, certain sins are forgiven and not counted at all. And when she was 20, she was like 7 for beauty. Well, no, you may ask, of course, when is one more beautiful, at 20 or at 7? And when does one have more or less sins, at 20 or at 7? Okay, another discussion, perhaps for another time. But still, why each one is a separate thing? Rashi tells us in conclusion they were all good, kulan shavim latova. They were all equally good. I have to ask you, were they really all good? Think for a second what it was like. Sarah marries a man. All of a sudden they decide to move to the other end of the world. They're promised, you come there, you'll become famous, you'll be rich, you'll have children. They come there, there's a famine. They go to Egypt. As soon as they go to Egypt, she's captured by the Egyptians. She's given back. They go back home. And here she is waiting for a child for so many years, no child. She decides, what can I do? Gives her maidservant to her husband, have a child with him. The maidservant becomes pregnant right away and starts to lord herself over her mistress Sarah. I have a child and you don't. She sends her away. She comes back. The child is born. Then, finally, she has a child, and the child starts to grow. And then she says, send the other child away. He's a bad influence on my son. Her husband, Avraham, doesn't want to do that. God says, no, listen to Sarah. The child is sent away, and now, what does she pine for? A good Jewish mother? A grandchild, no doubt. And here he is, unmarried, 36 years old, no child, no wife, no future. They're all equally good? Rabbi Shalom Gold says, no, this was the aspect of Sarah, that even in the midst of difficulty, she still had the faith that there is a plan here, there is good. There are things that are wonderful that are taking place. And in fact, they do. And in fact, they did. Because in fact, we the Jewish people are here today, the children of the descendants of Abraham and Sarah. All of those years for good having produced a wonderful Jewish people. To you all, a very, very good Shabbos.